Hello, this is this week's edition of the Believe in the Blue update on November 18th. I just want to let you know of a few things coming up this week and into next week. One thing with next week is a short week for us. We will have school on Monday and Tuesday next week, and then we will have Thanksgiving vacation from November 26th, which is Wednesday. Once again, we only have school on Monday and Tuesday, and then we will resume classes on December 1st. A couple other things coming up that way too for you to know. I'm going to read a few of these off here. Our Winter Festival, Music Festival, with both Bellevue High School students and Marquette High School students, along with our sixth graders performing at the Winter Festival on December 1st, which is when we come back on Monday. It's a great annual event that we've been having recently. Other concert dates are December 11th, and that is the elementary music concert. December 12th, the middle school music concert, and December 15th is the high school music concert. Once again, also our winter break and our first semester will end on December 19th, and then school will start back up again for students on January 5th. So the holiday season is upon us that way. Other events happening this week to be aware of. Tonight there's a middle school wrestling at Comanche. Thursday night, you can see our middle school girls play basketball against North Cedar, and that is at the Bellevue Elementary School. Friday night, our high school girls basketball plays in a jamboree. They'll play one half, actually against Easton Valley, and that game will be held in Preston. And then on Monday of next week, we have a wrestling tournament. On Monday night, the 24th, we have a middle school girls basketball away at Monticello. And then Tuesday, November 25th, we kick off the high school basketball season with a JV and varsity girls basketball game against West Branch, and that is here in Bellevue. Our boys just started practice this week, so they'll be starting up the following week that way. But also on Tuesday, November 25th, we have a junior high wrestling meet at Cascade, and that will include us, Cascade, and Northeast. So those are some things happening in that regard. We have a board meeting come up on December 8th. Todd Bowman will be at that board meeting and possibly Brian Moore as well. Safety drills. We had an early out for safety on November 7th. We're continuing that method of getting precautionary measures out for safety and things like that. Both schools have met with students as well, so staff has been trained and students have been informed of what will go on in case of different situations going on, whether we have a lockdown, evacuation, different steps to be taking that way. Once again, I want to let everyone know that the Bellevue Schools now has a Facebook page, and that's where many of you may be watching this from. But this will be posted on there along with several other things throughout the week and throughout the school days. I'll try to update that as much as I can throughout the week, basically that way. And another thing I want to let you know here, one thing we're really working on, and our staff is working on, is making our learning real and relevant, no matter if it's a kindergarten, a third grader, to a seventh grader, to a senior. Real and relevant learning, that's where it comes down to. What we're looking at, what kind of real life problems are students solving today? What real life problems could students solve in this chapter or unit? And ultimately, how are they using the information or applying the information that they're learning in class to a bigger picture that includes their world? Learning is always beyond a test one day. It is not how I do on a test one day. It shouldn't be that way. And so many times we get caught up with that with the Iowa assessments and other things even in classes. But learning is, can I apply the information that's been given to me later on? And that's what it comes down to. One thing that we've talked about as a staff, if you give your students the semester test that you give this year, and if you talk to them a year from now, have them take the same test, would they be able to pass it? Would they be able to do as well? Would they do better? What is the case? Ultimately, they should be able to do it. They should be able to do very well on it. We talked about semester break and ending the calendar year before the semester, before Christmas break, before that winter break. There's been some discussion at the state level about calendar and what that means. Will there be a delay in starting and not start quite as early? I'd be interested in any comments that anyone has on that. My feeling on that ultimately is we'll do what people want as much as we can within the community for school start date and end date. We have to get so many days in. That's 180 school days that we look to get in during the school year. One thing that's been argued at times is I've heard this stated before, if we don't test kids before they leave for winter break, they're not going to remember it when they come back. Well, if they truly learned it, they're going to remember it more than that week or two, but they're going to remember it weeks, months, and years down the road if they're truly learning it. I think that's something that has to be taken into effect. And that kind of ties into what I was talking about, real and relevant learning, what we call problem-based learning in many ways. what are things out there? How can I apply the information to solve certain things? So that's just some basics that way. I'll tell you more about that in the future. We are continually looking to improve things, and any of your input is more than welcome at any time. Please feel free to call any members of the school here. My office number is 563-872 4913, and that will get you to me. And please feel free to contact me with any concerns. We talked about, the curriculum. We talk about the school start date, talking about events and everything like that. So we have a lot of things going on. One thing I did leave out, high school wrestling practice also started yesterday as well. So we're in the midst of things, and bowling will be starting very soon as well here at Bellevue Schools. And archery is going on in gym right now, and their season is getting ready to start. So as always, a lot of things going on, and it's great to have students involved with things. Great to have parents involved, and we'll be moving on from there. But once again, I will talk to all of you next week, but have a great week.